This is the second example of a critical reflection on an observed lesson assignment. Overall, this is an excellent piece of work. In the essay, a range of roles are identified and related both to the literature and, importantly, to the main aims of the lesson, and the essay is very easy to follow. It's very clearly organised and laid out, and we can see that the student has met the intended learning outcomes and with some depth. Let's look at the essay in a little more detail. Although there is a rather obvious start with a classroom as a place in which learning and teaching takes place, the student then goes on quickly to draw together a range of points, outline the essay, and produces an excellent piece of work overall. They provide an overview of the course and lesson which was observed in the second paragraph, although this could be a little bit shorter. This student has chosen to describe the stages of the lesson, if we look down in italics, and then discusses the significance of each one. There isn't just one way necessarily to set out your assignments. Here you can see clearly that the writer takes an aspect of classroom action, defines the teacher and learner roles where relevant, and exemplifies from the lesson they observed. It's not only clear what the role and general significance of the role is at any point, but also how it relates to the aims of this class. So, for example, they start off with the teacher action of greeting students, providing an overview. They provide a reason for this action or role, define terms here, and fully develop the points by referring to the literature. We can see a reference to different sources in this entry here. A similar pattern is repeated through the following sections. So we have the stage of the lesson, the specific aspect to be studied, and so on, referring to the literature and defining terms. We can also see some more critical engagement with the concepts and reading. For example, the student might consider the student considers a different writer's view for right here, and a suggestion of what the role of a manager might include. This point could be developed further, for example, comparing the previous writer they'd refer to, but they do show some wider reading and discussion of terms. The student also shows depth, identifying the roles and giving relevant examples from the lesson, but they also relate the roles to principles and theories of language learning. For example, in the section when they discuss the use of questions. So the student has very clearly achieved the intended learning outcomes of being able to identify roles, provide appropriate examples, and relate these to the aims of the lesson. They have also made use of quite a wide range of reading. The organisation is very clear. We've already noted how each section and area is fully developed and discussed. And the writer appears very comfortable with academic language. They're clear but objective in their style and can make use of reading in a variety of ways to support their work. This might be in defining terms, providing reasons or a rationale, for example, of actions and approaches. There are some quotes, although this quote by Woodison here on page 3 should also have a page number, but we also see examples of summarising and sometimes at points of some paraphrasing from writers. The conventions are generally followed. For example, we have the author and year, but as we said, they should also include page numbers for quotes. This is one area to improve on. The essay has many examples within it, which is good, but the cross-referencing to the appendices could also be improved. The notes from the lesson are included here, but they're not referred to in the assignment and should be. But overall, this essay is clear, easy to follow, and fully developed.